landing. Didn't know you needed one before. Gotta head off. Good luck, have fun. Thanks for sticking around. Always glad to see you in the chat. Have fun, have fun. Again, same thing in the start. 6 on sheep. And push deer as fast as you can once you find all your extra resources. So why scout landing compared to archer landing is because you want to switch into archers. You don't want to open with archers. The problem when you open with archers is it requires them to like make a tower, and you don't have a lot of mobility when hitting their island. A scout landing is perfect because you don't have to collect bunch of other resources when you're trying to hit them. You only have to worry about food and wood in the dark age, not while like you're going up and all of that. So if you add to gold, it stretches up your economy way too much and you are not able to afford everything at the same time. What scout allows you to do is basically make like only one unit, which costs a lot of food, and you're able to afford food units early in the feudal age because you were fishing in the dark age. Hopefully that explains why scout is better than a gold unit. Gold unit will require you to have your villages on 3 resources in the dark age, which is not ideal for your economy. You want to be collecting only like a few resources with your villages, which like maximizes your collectability. Now I have 4 on wood, 6 on sheep, pushing my deers. They're in a bit of an awkward position, but it doesn't matter. I'm still gonna be pushing them. There's nothing else on my island to do after I find my initial resources, so this is like the only thing you should be doing. Go behind the deer and push them in the direction you want them. Once I bring my villager back, 7 on the food again. This villager goes to make the dock in front of your base because we want to minimize the distance between our island and their island. Yes, you will lose your fish faster if you do it this way, but then your transport ship's timing is not delayed as much. This is why I like to make my dock in front of my base. Some people like to do it in the back, but I prefer it in the front. You can try it with the back dock as well, but I'm just showing my variation of that. 5th onward and a 6th onward this time. We are not going to be playing with only 5 onward this time. When you're going for a landing, you're gonna go 6 onward so that you're able to afford that extra bit of wood for the barracks and all of that other stuff. Civilization matchup is like a big factor on when you should go for a landing. A landing is also like really powerful against certain players who are better than you. Some players are really good at microing their warships, so I try to land them if I know if I'm against an opponent which is like really strong. What was the mod for ring on the minimap? It's called TC Orbit. Gonna go up to 20 villages because I want it to be really quick. What is the ring on the minimap? It is called TC Orbit. It allows you to have a rough estimate of where the center of your opponent's TC is. Because most of the town centers spawn in a circle. If you look at the center of this like circle, you can see my town center is in the middle of it. So if I can like get a rough estimate of where my opponent is by using the circle on the minimap. It's a mod, but I used to draw it with like a marker on my screen back in the good old days. Once you're up, you only need 1 lumber camp. I'm gonna send 5 villages so that I have a total of 11 villages. Is this illegal? It's not. I used to do it like with a marker on my screen. Like it's not 100% accurate anymore. They changed the map scripts. So it's like not totally not a thing. You can like do it manually if you're dedicated enough about it. Yep, once you're up, get a transport ship once you're able to afford it, and send the villagers out immediately to your opponent's villager and your scout out to your opponent's island immediately. Don't mistake your opponent's island for the middle islands. Just try to go to the other edge of the map. Yeah, this is like a good spot. This feels like a good spot. And I'm gonna, well, this is actually not a good spot maybe. Yeah, it's a neutral island, I think. Maybe. I might be fucking up pretty hard. Making a barracks at my base, I forgot about that as well. So this is already off to a bad start, but it's still fine. It's not the worst thing in the world just yet, maybe. Why the fuck can't I find my opponent is the question. He's over here. Yeah, so he's over here. I'll make a stable almost immediately, and all the new villagers till I have 6 on cheap, and I'll make a mill immediately after. Sending 4 on my mill so that I have 4 on berries. Send the transport on the backside of their base. And once you make a stable, you should have enough wood for an archery range as well. So this is why you don't open with the archery range. You open with the stable and then switch to an archery range. It's all illegal from mod. Yeah. Yep. I can understand when coming from different games why like mods can be a little bit questionable, but it's like pretty much a understandable thing of having mods. Even having small trees is considered a mod. So I'm in a place where I am going to use whichever mod which is presented to me by the game. If I have the access to it, I'm gonna be using it. And once you have 3 scouts, just go attack them. Make your archery ranges, and once you have your archery ranges, keep making archers from those. And you want 8 on gold as well. All the new villagers go to gold. Let's say my fish dies at this point. I'm gonna delete my fish. And I should be able to sustain my stuff. Like I'll make a tower even. Like, let's not make it here. Let's make it a little bit more aggressively. Once you have your archer and scouts in a combination, it becomes really hard for your opponent to stop it. And now you have 8 on gold. All the new villages get horse collar. Once you have your fletching, keep making archers. Use your scouts in combination. Stop making scouts. Make like 4 or 5 and then stop making scouts. You don't need to make any more. Now you just play with full archers. Now I'm gonna add like farms. Remember, original I only have like 11 onward. I should have 11 onward. Once you have like constant archer production, like your opponent should basically die at this point. And now you want to just go to Castle Age. You can fight back for water once you do enough damage. You can keep towering him, but basically get your food count up to like your 18 farmers again. Like 4 or 5 scouts and then you switch to full archers is like the trick to this. If you over make army, you will run out of resources very quickly.
Jó napot.
Use your transport if he walls you out, like use it to transport your units around his base.
Igen, parancs. Építkezek. Szolgálatára. Parancs.
Let's make a second lumber camp because the first one is getting really inefficient.
Igen, azonnal. Jó napot.
I can mine his stone, take his gold, whatever with these villages. I'm just gonna move them around a little bit.
Szolgálatára. Építkezek. Jó napot. Értettem. Igen, megyek. Szolgálatára. Igen. Parancs. Jó
Oh,
napot.
what the fuck?
Gyűjtögetek. Parancs. Gyűjtögetek. Gazdálkodok. Igen, szolgálatára. Jó napot. Megyek. Szolgálatára. Parancs. Építkezek.
Yeah, just keep making archers, your food bank will eventually build up quite a bit. My recommendation is like something around 18 farmers should be more than enough.
Építkezek.
Having 18 farmer allows you to do whatever you want at that point of the game. And like remember, I'm not investing anything into water back again in this variation. I'm just going for the kill on the land instead. But you can switch back to water and relocate, redistribute your economy according to that.
Igen, jó nap, parancs. Igen, jó napot. Értem. Fát vágok.
Parancs, rendben. Szolgálatára.
Parancs. Fát vágok. Szolgálatára. Építkezek.
Igen. Parancs.
Parancs. Szolgálatára. Épít, bányászok. Jó nap, építkezek. Igen, építkezek. Fát vágok.
Szolgálat, támadás.
Parancs.
Jó napot!
I can just click up now.
Szolgálatára.
Gyűjtögetek.
Yep. You can switch back to knights. You can keep making more towers on his island, taking the stone that he has on his island.
Igen. Támadás.
If you go skirmishes, defensive towers, like you can like play whatever way you like at this point of the time of the game.
Szolgálatára. Parancs. Igen, fát vágok. Igen, fát vágok. Jó nap, építkezek.
Igen.
Most of it is like on the fly adjustment of your economy.
Parancs.
18 on food, just like your usual stuff.
Igen, bányászok.
I can add a second stable and play like double stable knights if my archers get cleaned up.
Igen, uram.
But you can upgrade these archers to crossbow, add a mangonel, add a monastery, and play like monk, siege, crossbow, knights at the same time on your opponent.
Szolgálatára. Építkezek. Jó napot. Építkezek.
All this without fishing economy at all, and you're still up at like a reasonable time considering how much damage you do.
Igen.
Jó napot!
Parancs.
Once
Megyek.
my-
Építkezek.
These guys run out.
Építkezek. Építkezek. Az
How can I send them to gold? 20 farms should be
Szolgálat
enough.
kezek.
Szolgálatára. Bányászok.
Szolgálat. Igen. Szolgálatára. Parancs. Roham. Igen. Rendben. Parancs. Roham. Igen, uram. Rendben.
You can click up a little bit faster if you use market, but like I'm just showing a build part of the build. I'm not showing like the adaptation part of it.
Jó nap, fát vágok. Parancs. Bányászok. Építkezek. Igen.
Szolgálat. Szolgálat. Rendben.
I'm gonna go for double stable knights at the same time as well.
Parancs. Építkezek.
Igen. Igen, uram.
Jó napot. Építkezek.
Parancs. Roham. Értettem. Roham. Rendben.
Szolgálat. Parancs. Igenis.
Szolgálatára.
Szolgálatára.
Igen.
Igen. Építkezek.
Once you have this much map control on his island, like he has no resources to take if you deny all the wood and everything on the map.
Építkezek. Építkezek.
Jó nap.
You can add TCs behind this as well.
Parancs. Bányászok. Fát vágok.
And remove a few villages from
Szolgálatára. Parancs.
the gold mine.
Igen. Szolgálatban.
Igen. Építkezek. Jó napot. Építkezek.
And then your monk siege and crossbow knight turn to death. You can add more eco or in terms of town center.
Fát vágok.
Or you can play
Igen.
1 TC with like full upgrades. Like you have enough economy to do whatever you want at this point of the game.
Parancs, igenis.
Like having knights and monk siege with crossbows on his island is going to be really hard for him to deal with. And this is like a combination of army, which you start out with scouts, switch to double range, and then add a second stable anyway, and then play with monk siege. You can like add TCs behind this, or you can play water at the same time. So a lot of adaptation rises from the opening that you're going to do.